dear listeners, and welcome back to another episode of Chapter to Cinema. I'm your host, Namrata, and today we are diving into a powerful adaptation that has left audiences and readers alike in deep thought. Aadujeevitham, or The Goat Life. This 2024 Malayalam language survival drama is based on the best selling novel by Benyamin, and it's been brought to life on the big screen by the talented Blessy. In today's episode, we are going to dissect what worked, what didn't, and the intriguing journey from page to screen. Aadujeevitham tells the harrowing real-life story of Najib, a Malayali immigrant who, like many others, was lured to Saudi Arabia by the promise of a better life, only to find himself enslaved as a goat herd in the harsh, unforgiving deserts. It's a tale of survival, hope, and the sheer will to live, even when all seems lost. The film features an impressive cast with Prithviraj Sukumaram, Jimmy Jane Lewis, and K.R. Gokul in the lead roles, supported by Talib Al-Balushi, Rikabi, Amala Paul, and Shobha Mohan. Director Blessy had long envisioned adapting Aadujeevitham ever since he first read the novel in 2008, casting Prithviraj Sukumaran as the protagonist. By the following year, Blessy secured the rights from author Benyamin and began crafting the screenplay. However, the film faced numerous obstacles, including budget constraints that led to significant delays and pushed the project into development hell. After years of searching for a suitable producer, Blessy finally found one in 2015, breathing new life into the project and setting it on the path to completion. The film's remarkable journey culminated in winning several applauds at the 2024 Kerala State Film Awards, including Best Director for Blessy, Best Screenplay Adapted, Best Actor for Prithviraj Sukumaran, Best Film with Popular Appeal and Aesthetic Value for Visual Romance, Best Cinematography for Sunil K.S., Best Sound Recordist for Rasool Pukoti and Sarat Mohan, Best Makeup Artist for Ranjit Ambari, and a special mention of acting for K.R. Gokul. Additionally, the film was recognized for Best Processing Lab or Colorist, cementing its status as a cinematic triumph. Now, let's dive into the film. First, let's talk about the actors. The lead role of Najib is a challenging one. It demands a portrayal of a man stripped of everything, enduring unimaginable hardships. Did the actor truly embody Najib's despair and resilience? Absolutely. Prithviraj Sukumaran delivered a performance that was both haunting and powerful, capturing the essence of Najib's character. His transformation was both physical and emotional, which was nothing short of extraordinary. You could feel his pain, his desperation, and his flickering hope, as if you were right there with him in the desert. Now let's talk about the director Blessy. Blessy is known for his sensitivity in handling complex human stories, and Aadujeevitham is no exception. Blessy stayed remarkably true to the tone and pacing of Benyamin's novel. The slow burn of Najib's suffering, the stark portrayal of isolation, and the raw depiction of survival. All these elements were retained in the film. The visuals of the endless barren desert were almost like a character in themselves, emphasizing Najib's loneliness and the vast emptiness surrounding him. But no adaptation is without its challenges, right? So let's talk about what didn't work. Some of the fans of the novel pointed out that few pivotal scenes were either cut short or altered, losing some of the emotional weight they carried in the book. For example, the moment when Najib first realizes the gravity of his situation felt slightly rushed on the screen compared to the painstaking detail in the novel. Also, while the film focused heavily on Najib's internal struggle, some viewers felt that the backstory, the life he left behind, wasn't as fleshed out as it could have been. There were also a few plot holes that emerged in the film version. For instance, the novel gives us a much clearer picture of how Najib survives day to day, the small victories and the crushing defeats. The film, while visually stunning, sometimes skimmed over these survival details, which were so pivotal in the book. These led to moments where the narrative felt a bit disjointed or where the passage of time wasn't as clear. Despite its success, Aadujeevitham hasn't been free from controversy. Since the book's publication in 2008, Benyamin has faced accusations of plagiarism, with critics claiming the portions of novel were lifted from Austro-Hungarian writer Muhammad Asad's The Road to Mecca, published in 1954. They have drawn parallels between the two works, especially in the descriptions of the protagonist's desert journeys, quoting at least 3 paragraphs from both the books as evidence. In 2021, M.N. Karaseri, a well-known Malayalam writer and critic who translated The Road to Makkah into Malayalam, defended Benyamin, stating, "I don't know if Benyamin has read The Road to Makkah. If he has, and if 2 or 3 phrases or images that may have been imprinted in his mind appeared in his writing, he cannot be faulted for it." Aadujeevitham is a good novel, one of the best that has recently come out of in Malayalam. Kasari highlighted that it wasn't just Muhammad Asad who had encountered the desert. Benyamin had too. Both Benyamin and Asad could have witnessed the same desert sunsets, felt the chill of an oasis, and endured sandstorms. It's not unusual for 2 writers to use similar phrases or metaphors. But Aadujeevitham is much more than that. It's a narrative about the life of Malayali experts. He remarked, however, the most recent controversy centers around the creative liberties Benyamin allegedly took in the novel. And here's a spoiler alert. Please stop this video here in case you haven't either watched the movie or read the book, because we are going to be discussing some spoilers. If you are still watching, I am assuming that you have either watched the movie or read the book or have done both and have no problems about the spoilers that we are going to discuss ahead. So the buzz stems from a controversial scene in Benyamin's original novel, which depicts an intimate moment between the protagonist Najib and a goat. Director Blessy initially planned to include this scene in the movie, but it was ultimately cut by the censor board. Addressing the rumors, Blessy has clarified that no such scene was ever filmed, urging audiences to focus on the film's strength rather than being misled by baseless chatter. Blessy remarked that wouldn't Najib have felt guilt about that scene? And perhaps the Najib in the book may be free of guilt. My portrayal of Najib carries a different weight. And so he never focused on that detail. But interestingly, during a promotional event for the film, Benyamin, the author, discussed the film's faithful adaptation, revealing that the controversial scene was indeed filmed, but later removed by the censor boards. Najib, the real-life inspiration behind the novel, has recently participated in promotional interviews for the movie, during which he has shown clear discomfort when asked about the controversial bestiality scene in the book. That scene was added by the novelist according to his own creative vision, he repeatedly emphasized, even coming close to walking out of an interview over this topic. In response to the growing controversy, Benyamin addressed the issue in a Facebook post clarifying that the novel's hero is Najib, not Shukur, the name by which the real-life Najib is known in his hometown. Shukur's influence on the novel is less than 30%. Aadujeevitham is not Shukur's life story, it is my novel. This is explicitly mentioned on the cover. I take full responsibility for every action attributed to Najib in the story, and I'm prepared to provide explanations for them. He wrote, despite the controversy, the film has garnered praise for its gripping narrative and stellar performances, especially from the lead actor Prithviraj Sukumaram. It is very interesting to see so many varied versions of the controversy and the incident. When authors introduce certain creative details in their works, they often do so with a specific vision in mind, aiming to evoke particular emotions or convey deeper meanings. However, when these details are adapted for the screen, they may be altered or even removed due to cultural sensitivities, censorship, or the demands of a different media. For authors, this can be a double-edged sword. On one hand, seeing their work adapted for a broader audience is a remarkable achievement. On the other, it can be disheartening to witness the dilution or omission of elements that were integral to the original narrative. This underscores the complex relationship between literary creation and visual adaptation, where artistic integrity sometimes collides with the realities of filmmaking and audience receptions. Now, let's come to some of the fun part. Did you know that the film took over 6 years to make, with shoots happening in some of the most remote deserts in the world? The team even had to endure extreme weather conditions to get those breathtaking yet haunting shots. And here's a little bit of a tidbit behind the scenes. Prithviraj reportedly lost over 20 kilos to authentically portray Najib's physical deterioration. That's some level of dedication. Before we wrap up, let's not forget to acknowledge the incredible international collaboration that went into making this film. It's rare to see a Malayalam movie with such a global production scale involving both Indian and American companies. This just goes on to show the universal appeal of Najib's story. It's a narrative that transcends borders and cultures. So there you have it. Aadujeevitham, a story of survival against all odds, brought to life with gripping performances and a deeply faithful adaptation, despite a few stumbles along the way. Whether you are a fan of the book or new to Najib's story, the film is definitely worth a watch. It is streaming on Netflix now, in case you haven't watched it so far. That's it for today's episode of Chapter to Cinema. Have you seen Aadujeevitham? What did you think of the adaptation? Let us know in the comments or hit us up on social media. Until next time, keep reading, keep watching, and keep the conversation going. Who knows, your favorite book might just be the next film adaptation we feature here. Thank you so much.